For years, trendy fashion brand Abercrombie & Fitch drew criticism for exclusively using shredded topless male models to promote its slim fit clothing. And in their drive to shake off that reputation and be more inclusive, they've used plus-size models in recent ad campaigns such as this one. There you go. But that's caused uproar, with many slamming them as irresponsible for glamorizing obesity, including our very own Leo Kearse, who tweeted, "Are you serious? Abercrombie & Fitch, this is your advert, and it's a girl so fat she's got an ass on her front. Are you just advertising how strong your buttons are?" It comes as another fat-shaming row has been hitting headlines, with comedian Aries Spears taking aim at pop superstar Lizzo.
I can't get past the fact that she looks like the emoji. She's got a very pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off. Like, come on, man. A woman that's built like a plate of mashed potatoes is in trouble. If you really gave a why wouldn't you go, "Black girl, we love you. We love your confidence, boo-boo, but this ain't it. This ain't it." That's the real love. Y'all will jump on me for making jokes, but y'all won't be real and go, "Sister, put the eclair down. This ain't it. It's treadmill time."
Now, someone who has always been vocal on this issue is rapper, podcaster and friend of our show, Zuby. He found himself at the centre of a Twitter storm after writing, "Fat shaming works on some people. Millions have lost weight and gotten healthier because they were teased and shamed, compelling them into action. For others, it can cause them to feel depressed and binge eat more. People are different. It's not one size fits all." So, with a series of high-profile obesity rows brewing, I want to know from you whether fat shaming should be encouraged to get the nation in shape. So email me, Dan at gbnews.uk, tweet me at gbnews. While you're there, vote in our poll. But weighing in on this now, we have the man himself, Zuby, weight loss expert and founder of Fatnosis, Steve Miller, and plus-size model Eva Believer. So, Zuby, your tweet really divided opinion on this. Are you sure that shaming people is a way to get them to lose weight?
Hey, Dan. Well, if you listen to what you said and you read my tweet, I said that fat shaming works on some people. This is a fact. That's not actually an opinion. It works on certain personality types. And I also said that it doesn't work on everybody. So I don't really think that's my opinion. I think that that is simply a fact. Now, in terms of the term fat shaming, it's one of those things that's become a bit complicated. I think that what a big problem we're having right now in society, and it's insane considering the health situation that we've been in, not just for the past few years, but the past few decades. The thing I and many other people have a big problem with is the glorification or celebration of obesity. This is not something that's simply about aesthetics. This is a health issue. It costs our nation and many other nations many, many millions of pounds, billions of pounds, even more in the USA and in some other countries. And obesity is not something that should be glorified and celebrated. It's a health issue. It leads to many other health issues. And I think that is the fundamental problem.
So, Lizzo, would you use her as an example of that glorification of being overweight, Zuby?
Yes, I do think that that is an example. I think it's one thing saying that people should not hate themselves and people should have, people should have a level of confidence. But there's a line between having confidence and having a matter of self-pride and self-esteem, an outright glorification of something that is unhealthy. This is not coming from any point of hate or aggression. This is coming from a place of wanting people to improve themselves. It's coming from a place of actual love and compassion and truly caring about people, not merely their feelings, but their actual health. And obesity is not something that is healthy.
Eva Believer, you think that it's completely wrong to fat shame anyone. Why?
Well, first of all, hi to everyone. Nice to meet you, Zuby, and nice to see you again, Steve. So, first of all, I would like to say that any type of shaming is actually really bad for you, because I I don't know anyone, personally me, that achieved any results or any positive changes in their lives just because they were shamed. I mean, I faced in my life, it was nothing related to body issues or fat shaming, but I had a professor while I was studying opera who admitted in the end that she was using the method of shaming, of putting someone down. So she thought that people like bamboos, they will go through, they will grow, and they will prove that, wow, it's wrong, I can do better. But, you know, at the end, she lost all of her students because everybody had mental break and they lost their voices. So imagine with fat shaming, when it comes to your body, I wanted to tell you, I just remembered now, there is a very famous doctor who has a talk show, I think in America. My mom is obsessed with him because the show is also in Lithuania, on Lithuanian TV. And he said one time, one very correct thing. The hunger comes from your head, from your heart, and from your stomach. If all of us would eat to satisfy the hunger that comes from our stomach, we would never be fat.
Okay, good point. Good point. Well, I want to put that to Steve Miller because, Steve, you are very harsh on folk who are overweight. Is that not a point that Eva Believer has, actually? A lot of the reasons for people eating is down to emotions. It's down to being unhappy. And so if you just tell them, oh, you're fat, actually, they feel more unhappy, Steve.
Well, I'm going to take issue with what you're saying now because I don't think I'm harsh at all. I think I'm straight talking. I think I tell the truth.
Look, I like straight talkers. I like straight talkers, Steve.
And actually, and anyone that knows me will see I put an arm around my people a lot, and you will have seen that on my TV show. However, we have become a nation of fat-shaming squealers, and I'm fed up to the back teeth of it, because you only have to say, I like salad these days, and you're called a fat shamer. You know, cancer research for putting out the warning about being too fat can trigger cancer. It's the second biggest trigger of cancers now. They were called fat shamers for doing that. So I think we've got to understand that we've gone a little bit too far over the boundary. And what we've got to do is actually get a bit more real. The University of East Anglia did some research on this and found that we are beginning to normalize fat. And as Zubi quite rightly says, breath of fresh air, I have to say, is absolutely right. We've got to get more honest with people. And for the people out there that call me a fat shamer, I have two words for you. The first one is fat, and the second one is off. Fat off.
Zubi, what is fat shaming then? Because how do you fat shame in a way that is actually going to make a difference for someone?
Yeah, I think maybe the term fat shaming itself has become mired in too much. I think it's interpreted too differently by different people. And I think that when people use the word shame, people are conflating it with some type of bullying or aggression or attacking. And that's not what I'm talking about. What we are discussing is that there are certain behaviors that human beings do. I think we'd all agree, if we're being honest, there are behaviors that human beings do that should be shamed, right? Not everything should be accepted, let alone nor tolerated by society. And we all know that it's not good for people to be using hard drugs. We know that it's not good to be binge drinking excessively. It's not good to smoke tons of cigarettes excessively. These are all bad behaviors, and people don't feel any type of way about shaming people for smoking, right? That's simply letting them know that what they're doing is not healthy. It's not conducive to their life. And that's something that you should tell people. You shouldn't shy away from telling a good friend or telling someone that it's unhealthy to smoke or unhealthy to do hard drugs.
Yeah, but they know that. They know that, and they make a decision to keep doing it for their lives. And as a libertarian, I might disagree with that decision, but I'm going to accept that they smoke as long as it has nothing to do with me. I mean, look, Steve Miller, you've got Eva Believer here, right? Now, she's made her career out of being a plus-size model. Maybe a few years ago, she wouldn't have had this career. Would you want to fat shame Eva? Would you say that Eva shouldn't be happy with her weight?
I don't know. God, Eva's lovely. I love Eva. I know I've got to know Eva through GBNews. But the one thing I would say with the catwalk, we've actually gone from the catwalk to the fat walk, haven't we? Because everything seems to be these days about plus size models and fat models on the front of magazines.
So you don't think Eva deserves to be on a catwalk?
Hang on, let me finish. Let me finish the point. And Zubi's right. It's not about hating people. It's still about loving people, but it's about saying we cannot continue to glorify it in the manner we are.
No, Steve, I get that. I get that. But this is a debate, Steve.
To believe it's normal.
Steve, let me come in. I understand the philosophical point you and Zubi are making. What I'm trying to understand, remember, I'm someone who battles with my weight. So what I'm actually trying to understand is the practical nature of this. How do you want to deal with people who are overweight? Do you want to say to Eva Believer, you should not be doing your job because you're too fat? Do you understand what I mean? Because we're saying fat shaming should exist in society. OK, how? Do you just go up to a random fat person on the street and say you need to lose weight? How does this work in practice, Steve? Because you've got Eva Believer here. She's a plus-size model. How do you deal with her?
I think it's about balance. And what we do with plus-size models, many of which I get on with extremely well, is we make it clear to them and we encourage them to put over the message that being this fat, and it is called fat, right, is not healthy. Because if we don't, we're going to nurture a society in the United Kingdom where it becomes the norm for everyone to sort of hang around and sing if you're happy.
No, I understand you've been upfront about it. So I want to give the final word to Eva Believer. So Eva, Steve's saying, look, I like you. I get on with you. But I think you're fat and I don't think you should be on the catwalk or the fat walk, as he calls it. How do you respond, Eva?
Well, first of all, let's start from the fact that catwalk is not to glorify fat people. The catwalk is just the event for fashion to show what clothes plus-size people can buy. At this moment, maybe tomorrow they're going to lose weight, but today they need to dress somehow, isn't it? So I don't want to be glorifying Victoria's Secret that says that plus size now will be done for her brand and it's going to end up at size 18 UK, which, excuse me, it's not true because size plus only starts at 18. So just to tell you something, dear Steve, you know, I've been on the show before, so probably people who are watching it now, they know my story. I lost 7 stones sometimes in my life and I put everything back. But I must say, people who were born slim and maybe they are lazy to go to gym or whatever, eating unhealthy, this is one thing. But when you're born of 1 stone weight and you have had your past related to health problems and all that, I think being of my size and being super healthy and fit, because I go to gym 3 times a week, I swim in a pool every Sunday. Today I was exhausted. It's absolutely okay. I am size 22 UK and you can say, oh, she's fat because this is plus size. But if you see me walking on the beach 17 miles in one day, you will be surprised. You won't walk with me because I'm really fit.
Okay. No, I understand. I understand, and this is a fascinating debate. My skin is glowing.
And let me tell you this.
Okay, final word, Eva.
I have a very close person who is size 10 and has high cholesterol, high sugar,
and I bet you love to see that. Eva Believer, plus size model, thank you so much.
Fine.
Thank you too to rapper and podcaster Zubi. We'll speak soon, Zubi, and weight loss expert, the founder of Fatnosis, Steve Miller.